Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract wealth effortlessly, while others, working just as hard, remain stuck in survival mode? What's the secret? Is it luck? A rich family? Some magic financial formula? Let me take you back to the ancient city of Babylon, the wealthiest city of its time, where fortunes were built not on chance, but on timeless wisdom. In the heart of that city lived a man named Arkad. He wasn't born rich. In fact, he started as a humble scribe, copying scrolls for a meager wage. He knew the pain of watching his coins vanish faster than they came, but he also held a burning question in his heart. Why do others grow rich while I remain poor? That one question led him on a journey that would change not only his life, but the lives of everyone who listened to his wisdom. Years later, Arkad became known as the richest man in Babylon, and when asked to reveal his secret, he didn't talk about lucky breaks, inheritance, or mysterious stock picks. He simply smiled and said, "A part of all you earn is yours to keep." At first glance, it sounds obvious, maybe even too simple. But let me ask you something. When you get paid, who do you pay first? The landlord? The grocery store? The bank? The bills? Taxes? You work, you sweat, you sacrifice hours of your life, and yet by the end of the month, there's barely anything left for you. So Arkad flipped the script. He taught, before you pay anyone else, pay yourself first. Set aside at least 10% of everything you earn, every single time. Not what's left over, not what you might save if the bills don't eat it all, but a sacred, non-negotiable portion, just for you. At first, it might feel impossible. You might think, I can barely survive on what I earn now. How could I possibly save 10%? But here's the truth. It's not about the amount. It's about the habit. It's about sending a message to yourself that your future matters, that you are worthy of wealth, that you are not just a machine designed to make money for everyone else. And something magical happens when you start keeping that first 10%. You become more mindful of your spending. You discover that many of your needs are actually wants. You begin to shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of ownership. That small stash grows, slowly at first, then faster as interest compounds and opportunities appear. Because when you have money, you have options, you have freedom. Arkad said, wealth like a tree grows from a tiny seed. The sooner you plant that seed, the sooner it will grow into a mighty tree. And that 10%, that's your seed. It's not meant to be hoarded forever. It's meant to be nurtured, invested wisely, put to work. But it starts with a simple shift, a commitment to keep a part of what you already earn. Not after you get a raise, not next year, not when life gets easier. Now, because if you can't save a dime out of $1, you won't save 1,000 out of 10,000. Wealth doesn't start with income. It starts with discipline, with respecting your worth. So if you're tired of running in circles, if you're ready to stop living paycheck to paycheck, then maybe, just maybe, all it takes is one small decision to pay yourself first, to honor your effort, to plant your tree, and watch it grow. Let me ask you something. When your paycheck hits your bank account, who do you pay first? The landlord? Your internet provider? The grocery store? Your credit card company? Be honest, most of us work day and night. We show up, we hustle, we push ourselves. And yet, by the end of the month, we're broke. And somehow it feels normal. But here's the truth that no one told you growing up. You weren't born just to pay bills and die. Now imagine this. Thousands of years ago, in the bustling streets of ancient Babylon, a man named Arkad lived humbly as a scribe. He copied scrolls by hand, earning just enough to survive, but never enough to get ahead. Until one day, he asked the question that would change his life. Why do some men become wealthy while others like me remain poor, even though we work just as hard? So he searched for answers. He studied the habits of the wealthy. He listened. He learned. And years later, Arkad became the richest man in Babylon. Not because of luck, not because he inherited money, but because he understood something that most people still overlook today. When asked how he did it, he shared one golden rule: the foundation of all wealth. A part of all you earn is yours to keep. That's it. It sounds simple, maybe even too simple. But take a moment to think about it. Most people spend everything they earn. Some even spend more than they earn, digging deeper into debt with each passing month. But Arkad taught that you must keep at least 10% of your income, no matter how little you make. It's not what's left over after you've paid the bills. It's not someday when you finally earn more. It's the first 10%. You pay it to yourself before anyone else. Why? Because if you don't keep a portion of what you make, you'll never break free. You'll work for others your entire life. But if you do, if you start setting aside that small slice, that sacred 10%, you're sending a powerful message to the universe. I respect my money. I respect myself. I am building something greater. And here's the beautiful part. You won't miss it. It might feel tight at first, but you'll adjust, just like you always do. You'll find ways to spend less without losing what really matters. You'll start to notice how much money you waste on little things, on things that don't move your life forward. But this time, your money is working for you. It's growing, quietly, consistently, building a foundation you never had before. And as that fund grows, something else grows with it. Your confidence, your sense of control, your freedom. Arkad compared wealth to a tree. He said, a man's wealth is not in the coins he carries, but in the income his money generates. That 10%. It's your seed, your starting point. It's not for spending. It's for planting, for investing wisely, for creating new streams of income, for protecting your future. Now you might be thinking, I can't afford to save anything right now. But here's the hard truth. If you can't save when you're earning little, you won't save when you're earning more. Because wealth isn't about income. It's about discipline. It's about habits. It's about choosing long-term growth over short-term pleasure. Arkad didn't become the richest man in Babylon because he found a shortcut. He did it by mastering one principle and living by it every single day. Start thy purse to fattening. So I'll ask you again, who are you paying first? Everyone else or yourself? Because here's what most people never realize. You can't build wealth by accident. It has to be intentional. It starts with one small decision, repeated consistently, over time. It's not glamorous. It won't make you rich overnight, but it will change your life. So the next time money lands in your hands, before you pay the rent, before you buy that coffee, before you scroll through your shopping cart, take 10% and pay it to the one person who deserves it most, you. That's how wealth begins. Let me tell you a secret. Saving money is only the beginning. Yes, it's powerful. Yes, it builds discipline. Yes, it shows respect for your effort. But saving alone will not make you wealthy. You see, money, when left sitting still, loses its power. It grows restless. It wants to move. It wants to work. The richest man in Babylon, Arkad, understood this better than anyone. After years of saving that first 10% of his income, he faced a new question, one that many people never even reach. What should I do with the money I've saved? That's when he learned the third great law of wealth. Make thy gold multiply. Don't just save your money, put it to work. Because wealth is not measured by what you save, but by what your savings begin to earn. Arkad explained it like this. Your money is like a worker. If you send that worker out into the world, and he returns with more workers, your army of gold will grow. But if you keep your worker locked in a chest, he brings nothing back. Imagine this. You save 10 coins. You invest them wisely. They earn you 2 more coins. Now you have 12. But you don't stop there. You invest all 12, and they bring back 3 more. That's how true wealth begins. Not by adding, but by multiplying. And that's why the wealthy get wealthier. Not because they work harder, but because their money is working while they sleep. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man named Roden, a spearmaker in Babylon. He was skilled, honest, and hardworking. And one day he received a great reward, 50 gold pieces from the king. It was more money than he'd ever seen in his life. Excited but uncertain, he went to Arkad for advice. He asked, "What should I do with this gold so I do not lose it, and maybe even grow it?" Arkad smiled. He knew the temptation Roden would face. When a man suddenly comes into wealth, he said, the thoughts of 100 friends will pour into his ears, advice from merchants, moneylenders, cousins, and even strangers. Everyone becomes an expert when you have money. They'll promise you riches. They'll pitch grand plans. But Arkad warned, gold flees the man who forces it into impossible earnings. Gold clings to the man who invests it carefully with wisdom and patience. Roden listened. He didn't rush. He learned the golden rule of investing. Do not let your money lie idle. but do not send it into battle without a shield. Because not all investments are wise. Not all opportunities are real. Let's face it, in today's world, it's no different. There are flashy ads, crypto schemes, online gurus promising fast cash and luxury cars. But true wealth, it grows slowly, silently, and steadily. So how do you make your money multiply wisely? Here's what Arcad taught. Wrote and listened. He didn't rush. He learned the golden rule of investing. Do not let your money lie idle, but do not send it into battle without a shield. Because not all investments are wise. Not all opportunities are real. Let's face it, in today's world, it's no different. There are flashy ads, crypto schemes, online gurus promising fast cash and luxury cars. But true wealth, it grows slowly, silently, and steadily. So how do you make your money multiply wisely? Here's what Arcad taught. 1. Invest only in what you understand. If someone offers you a chance to invest in gems, but you've never studied gems, say no. If someone tells you to invest in businesses you can't explain in one sentence, walk away. Knowledge protects your money like armor protects a warrior. 2. Seek advice from experienced people, not dreamers. Go to those who have already succeeded with money. Listen to people who have proven results, not just bold opinions. As Arcad said, it is better to be cautious than to lose one's gold through reckless ambition. Sir. 3. Reinvest the earnings. Let your gold's children have children. Don't take the profit and spend it on things that disappear. Let the profit stay in the system, earning more, growing stronger. That's how the snowball begins to roll. 4. Avoid the get-rich-quick traps. Arcad was clear. Wealth that comes quickly often leaves just as fast. The foundation of wealth is patience, not speed. Your money is a tree, not fireworks. Now, you might be thinking, but I only have a little saved. What can I possibly invest? That's the beauty of it. Even the smallest coin, when invested wisely, starts the engine. The power of compound growth doesn't care how small the seed is, only that you plant it. $1 that earns 5 cents becomes 105 cents. That 105 that earns again and again. Over time, it becomes something much bigger, but only if you start, only if you act. So ask yourself, is your money working for you, or is it just sitting? Because if your money is not busy multiplying, it's wasting time. The money you save is your servant. But the money you invest becomes your army. You don't have to be a genius. You don't need a fortune. You only need a decision. To let your gold go to work, to give it a purpose, to multiply it, wisely, patiently, and without fear. Because the difference between those who survive and those who prosper isn't how much they earn, it's what they do with what they keep. Start today, let your gold multiply, and watch your wealth quietly, powerfully grow. You've saved diligently, you've learned to invest. Your gold is finally multiplying. Life feels like it's turning in your favor. And then one careless move, one irresistible promise, one can't-miss opportunity, and everything you built vanishes like smoke in the desert wind. That tragedy has played out for countless dreamers, ancient and modern alike, which is why Babylon's richest man, Arcad, hammered home the 4th great law of wealth. Guard thy treasures from loss. Because earning money is hard, but keeping money, that's another battle entirely. How fortunes slip through your fingers. Investing in things you don't understand. Taking advice from people with no track record. Chasing get-rich-quick schemes. Letting greed drown out caution. Left unchecked, any one of these can undo years of discipline in a single afternoon. A cautionary tale from ancient Babylon. A bright-eyed young man once hurried to Arcad's courtyard. "Master," he said, breathless, "I've saved several gold pieces. A potter I know is gathering money to import rare jewels from Phoenicia. He swears the profit will triple." Arcad raised an eyebrow. "And what does a potter know of jewels?" "Very little," the youth admitted, "but he has a cousin abroad who..." Arcad's gentle smile faded to steel. "When a man trusts his gold to one who knows not its nature," he said, "the gold departs, swifter than a camel bolting for water." The lesson was brutal yet simple. Risk is highest where knowledge is lowest. 4 shields for your treasure. 1. Invest only in fields you grasp. If you can't explain the venture in a single clear sentence, step away. Knowledge is the armor that keeps your coins alive. 2. Seek counsel from proven winners, not smooth talkers. A baker may advise on bread, but not on pearls. Listen to those who have already kept wealth, not merely dreamed of it. 3. Demand security and patience. Real opportunities don't need 24-hour deadlines or secret passwords. If someone pressures you to act now, let that urgency be your loudest warning. 4. Insure what can be insured. In modern life, policies can shield homes, health, and businesses from ruinous shocks. Arcad used contracts. Today we use coverage. Different tools, same wisdom. 5. Remember, you toiled for each coin. Do not surrender them to ignorance, haste, or greed. 6. Money is mute, yet it observes you. Treat it recklessly, and it will flee. Treat it with respect. Guard it like a fortress, and it will remain a loyal ally for life. 7. Wealth is not an accident. It is a responsibility. So before you sign, click, or wire funds, stop and ask. 8. Do I truly understand this? Is my downside protected? Would Arcad nod or shake his head? 9. Because in the end, the difference between those who merely taste prosperity and those who live it is not how much they earn, but how fiercely they protect what they keep. Imagine this. After a long day's work, you walk home, not to a rental, not to a space you're borrowing, but to your own place, your roof, your walls, your land. The key turns, the door opens, and for once, life feels grounded. That's the power of ownership. Thousands of years ago in the golden city of Babylon, Arcad, the richest man in the land, shared a truth that still echoes across time. Own thy home. A man who owns his dwelling gains stability, pride, and peace of mind. And yet, even today, many live month to month renting spaces that will never be theirs, paying landlords, moving from one place to another, always giving, never building. Arcad believed that owning your home was more than financial advice. It was a foundation for freedom. Let's break it down. Why owning your home matters. When you rent, your money disappears. Every payment helps someone else grow wealthier, while you remain in place. But when you own, each payment builds your asset. Every brick you invest in becomes part of your legacy. Arcad said, to own a home is to anchor one's life. It provides shelter not only from the sun and the storm, but from the chaos of uncertainty. He believed that no man could truly grow his fortune until he first secured his place in the world. Because when you have a home, you stop drifting. You plant roots. You gain peace, the kind that allows your mind to focus on growth, not survival. A story from Babylon. A humble weaver once came to Arcad for guidance. Master, he said, I earn a fair wage, but I live in a rented room. By the time I've paid rent, food, and clothes, there's little left. Should I still dream of owning a home? Arcad smiled. Yes, he replied. Start small, save for the land, build modestly, but above all, begin. And that's what the weaver did. He bought a patch of land outside the city. He built with his own hands, slowly, week by week. In time, his family had a roof of their own. And with that, something changed. They were no longer just surviving, they were thriving. Key lessons from Arcad's advice, to be continued. 7. Wealth is not an accident. It is a responsibility. So before you sign, click, or wire funds, stop and ask, 8. Do I truly understand this? Is my downside protected? Would Arcad nod or shake his head? 9. Because in the end, the difference between those who merely taste prosperity and those who live it is not how much they earn, but how fiercely they protect what they keep. Imagine this. After a long day's work, you walk home, not to a rental, not to a space you're borrowing, but to your own place, your roof, your walls, your land. The key turns, the door opens, and for once, life feels grounded. That's the power of ownership. Thousands of years ago, in the golden city of Babylon, Arcad, the richest man in the land, shared a truth that still echoes across time. Own thy home. A man who owns his dwelling gains stability, pride, and peace of mind. And yet, even today, many live month to month, renting spaces that will never be theirs, paying landlords, moving from one place to another, always giving, never building. Arcad believed that owning your home was more than financial advice. It was a foundation for freedom. Let's break it down. Why owning your home matters. When you rent, your money disappears. Every payment helps someone else grow wealthier while you remain in place. But when you own, each payment builds your asset. Every brick you invest in becomes part of your legacy. Arcad said, to own a home is to anchor one's life. It provides shelter not only from the sun and the storm, but from the chaos of uncertainty. He believed that no man could truly grow his fortune until he first secured his place in the world. Because when you have a home, you stop drifting. You plant roots, you gain peace, the kind that allows your mind to focus on growth, not survival. A story from Babylon. A humble weaver once came to Arkad for guidance. "Master," he said, "I earn a fair wage, but I live in a rented room. By the time I've paid rent, food, and clothes, there's little left. Should I still dream of owning a home?" Arkad smiled. "Yes," he replied. "Start small. Save for the land. Build modestly. But above all, begin." And that's what the weaver did. He bought a patch of land outside the city. He built with his own hands, slowly, week by week. In time, his family had a roof of their own. And with that, something changed. They were no longer just surviving, they were thriving. 1. Owning is investing. Your home isn't just a place to live, it's a financial decision. It saves you rent, it gives you equity, it builds net worth. 2. Homeownership creates stability. Children grow stronger when they have security. Couples argue less when they're not worried about sudden rent increases or eviction. 3. A home reflects responsibility. When it's yours, you care for it more. You improve it. You maintain it. And in return, it gives you pride and dignity. 4. Start small, but start now. You don't need a palace. You don't need perfection. You need a place you can call your own, no matter how humble. Narrator's tone softens. So ask yourself, are you building someone else's future or your own? Because every coin you put into rent is a coin you'll never see again. But every coin you invest in your home, that's a brick in your legacy. You deserve a place to belong. You deserve to look at your front door and say, "This is mine." Not someday, not when things are easier, but starting now with what you have. Because the journey to wealth isn't just about numbers. It's about security, dignity, and creating a space where your dreams can take root. Arkad knew it, and now, so do you. Own thy home, build where you stand, and watch your future rise from the ground beneath your feet. Time moves quickly, the strong become tired, the skilled become slower, and even the wisest one day must rest. But what if, when that day comes, your income doesn't stop? What if your money keeps flowing in even when your body no longer can? That is the promise behind Arkad's 6th great law of wealth. Ensure a future income. In other words, build a stream of money that keeps flowing even when you stop working. Let me tell you why that matters. Deep down, we've all felt it, that silent worry that lingers in the back of your mind. What happens if I can't work anymore? Will I become a burden to my family? What if I grow old and have nothing? It's a fear many bury beneath busyness, but ignoring it doesn't make it go away. Arkad knew this. That's why he urged every person, no matter how young, no matter how poor, to plan for a future where they don't need to work to survive. Because that day will come, and when it does, you'll either have security or you'll have regret. A lesson from Babylon. There once was a merchant who earned gold generously in his youth. He lived well, dined richly, gave generously to friends, but he made one mistake. He assumed the flow would last forever. He never built savings. He never invested for later. He only lived for now. Then one day, trade slowed, his health declined, and the river of income that once ran strong ran dry. He returned to Arkad, older, humbled, and asked, "Is it too late to rebuild?" Arkad placed a hand on his shoulder. "You cannot turn back time," he said, "but you can teach others not to waste theirs." What does it mean to ensure a future income? It means creating systems where your money works for you, so that even when you can't work, your money still does. Here's how. 1. Invest in long-term, stable income sources. This could mean rental properties that pay you monthly, dividend-paying stocks, bonds or conservative funds that generate interest, owning part of a business that continues to grow. These aren't flashy, they aren't get rich quick, but they're reliable, and reliability is freedom. 2. Start while you're strong. Too many people wait. They tell themselves, "I'll think about that later." But later has a way of arriving too soon. Arkad said, "A man must not only prepare for the needs of today, but also for the days when strength fades and youth is gone." Start now. Even small investments made early can grow into rivers of gold over time. 3. Plan for your family too. It's not just about you. your spouse, your children, your legacy. What will they have if you're gone? Arcad urged people to think beyond their own lives, to build something that lasts, a financial safety net for those they love. Modern tools like life insurance, trusts, or retirement accounts all serve this same purpose. Wealth that cares for others, Arcad said, is the mark of a truly wise man. A lesson from Babylon. There once was a merchant who earned gold generously in his youth. He lived well, dined richly, gave generously to friends. But he made one mistake. He assumed the flow would last forever. He never built savings. He never invested for later. He only lived for now. Then one day, trade slowed, his health declined, and the river of income that once ran strong ran dry. He returned to Arcad, older, humbled, and asked, "Is it too late to rebuild?" Arcad placed a hand on his shoulder. "You cannot turn back time," he said, "but you can teach others not to waste theirs." So that even when you kill does. What does it mean to ensure a future income? It means creating systems where your money works for you, so that even when you can't work, your money still does. Here's how. Conservative funds. 1. Invest in long-term, stable income sources. This could mean rental properties that pay you monthly, dividend-paying stocks, bonds, or conservative funds that generate interest. Owning part of a business that continues to grow. These aren't flashy, they aren't get-rich-quick, but they're reliable. And reliability is freedom. 2. Start while you're strong. Too many people wait. They tell themselves, "I'll think about that later." But later has a way of arriving too soon. Arcad said, a man must not only prepare for the needs of today, but also for the days when strength fades and youth is gone. Start now. Even small investments made early can grow into rivers of gold over time. 3. Plan for your family too. It's not just about you, your spouse, your children, your legacy. What will they have if you're gone? Arcad urged people to think beyond their own lives, to build something that lasts, a financial safety net for those they love. Modern tools like life insurance, trusts, or retirement accounts all serve this same purpose. Wealth that cares for others, Arcad said, is the mark of a truly wise man. It's the young man who sets aside 10% of his income, then uses it to buy dividend stocks that pay him quarterly. It's the single mother who buys a small apartment, rents it out, and uses the income to fund her future. It's the factory worker who opens a retirement account at age 30, contributes faithfully, and retires at 60 with peace of mind. It's you, making small intentional decisions now that one day allow you to wake up, smile, and not have to clock in. Because here's the truth. You weren't born just to work forever. You were meant to enjoy the fruits of your labor, to rest without fear, to grow older without panic, to live with dignity and leave behind more than memories. But that future won't build itself. You must begin now. With what you have, where you are, let every dollar you earn carry a purpose. Let your investments become your future voice. Let your gold work for you. So when your hands can no longer labor, your gold still brings you comfort. Ensure a future income, Arcad said, and you shall never fear the years ahead. Now the question is, will you prepare? You've saved, you've invested, you've protected your gold, and even planned for the future. But now comes the most important question of all. How can you earn more? Because no matter how disciplined you are with money, no matter how well you manage what you have, you'll always be limited by your ability to earn. And that's why Arcad, the richest man in Babylon, gave this final and powerful law of wealth. Increase thy ability to earn. In other words, never stop growing, never stop learning, never stop becoming more valuable. And because the world value section. Your income is a reflection of your value. Think of it like this. If a man is paid 1 silver coin per day, it is because the world values his current skills at 1 silver coin per day. But if that same man studies, sharpens his mind, expands his trade, gains new abilities, he doesn't need to beg for more money. The world will offer it. Because the marketplace always rewards value. The more you grow, the more you know, the more you can solve problems, the more you will earn. A story from Babylon. There was once a scribe named Nomasir. He lived in the shadow of his father, a powerful and wealthy nobleman. When Nomasir turned 30, his father gave him a challenge. Take this bag of gold and this clay tablet of wisdom. Leave Babylon. Create your own wealth. Return in 10 years and show me what you've learned. Nomasir began with confidence, but his gold ran out quickly because he relied only on what he had, not on what he could become. Desperate and ashamed, he turned to the clay tablet his father had left him. It said, "Wealth is not what you hold. It is what you are capable of earning again and again and again." That day, Nomasir stopped chasing shortcuts and began investing in himself. He studied trade, he learned new languages, he worked under skilled merchants. And over time, he didn't just get rich, he became valuable. When he returned 10 years later, he was wealthier than his father had ever imagined. He studied right. So, how do you increase your ability to earn? Here are 5 timeless steps from Arkad's wisdom, still true today. 1. Invest in knowledge. The more you know, the more you can do. Read books. Take courses. Ask questions. Knowledge compounds faster than money ever can. A man's mind is his strongest tool, Arkad said. Sharpen it daily. 2. Practice your craft. Whatever you do it better than anyone around you. If you're a builder, be the most precise. If you're a teacher, be the most inspiring. Excellence attracts opportunity. 3. Build your reputation. People pay more to those they trust. Deliver more than you promise. Show up early, finish strong. Be the person others depend on. 4. Stay curious. The world changes, so must you. Stay open to new ideas, tools, and technologies. The person who adapts is the one who thrives. 5. Surround yourself with growth-minded people. You become like those you spend time with. Surround yourself with learners, doers, and dreamers. Iron sharpens iron. Here's the truth no one teaches in school. The more valuable you become, the less you'll ever have to chase money. Because money will begin to chase you. Don't settle for the same paycheck year after year. Don't wait for someone to come and notice your worth. Prove it, earn it, build it. You are your greatest asset. And unlike gold or land, your mind, your skills, your creativity can grow forever. The final key to lasting wealth. The first 6 laws of Babylon taught you how to manage money. This final law, it teaches you how to multiply your income by becoming a better version of yourself. So don't ask, how can I get rich? Ask, how can I become more capable, more skilled, more valuable to others? Because when you focus on becoming better, wealth is no longer a distant dream. It becomes the natural result. What you need is a decision. Let's remember the journey. First, start thy purse to fattening. Save, always save. Even a small portion can grow into abundance. Second, control thy expenditures. Spend only on what brings value. Know the difference between wants and needs. Third, make thy gold multiply. Invest wisely. Let your money work for you, day and night. Fourth, guard thy treasures from loss. Protect your wealth. Avoid careless risks and false promises. Fifth, own thy own home. Create stability. Build a foundation for your family and your future. Sixth, ensure a future income. Plan ahead. Prepare for the day when your hands no longer labor. Seventh, increase thy ability to earn. Never stop growing. Never stop becoming more valuable. These aren't just financial rules, they're life principles. They shape not only your wallet, but your character, your confidence, your freedom. Because when you take control of your money, you take control of your life. So now ask yourself, what could your future look like? If you followed just one of these laws today, what if, instead of waiting for a raise, you started becoming the kind of person who earns more? What if, instead of spending it all, you let your money build something bigger? For you, your family, your legacy? Because the greatest tragedy is not poverty, it's potential left unused. And the greatest fortune isn't measured in gold. It's measured in freedom, to live, to give, to rest, to grow. Now, let me ask you, if this story spoke to something deep inside you, If you're tired of working hard only to feel stuck in the same place, then maybe, just maybe, this book is just truth. I've left a link below for you to get your own copy. It's an affiliate link, which means if you decide to purchase through it, you're also supporting this channel, and I truly appreciate that. Remember this, wealth is not a matter of luck. It's a matter of wisdom. Wisdom you can learn, starting today. So go ahead, plant the first seed, turn the first page, and let your journey begin.